Tiffanie Owen, and I am the Instructional Coordinator for Lincoln and Fort Stanton Historic Sites down here in southern New Mexico. I'm coming to you from my studio here in Lincoln, where I, like so many others, have been inspired by the beautiful scenery, the historic buildings, the characters, and the history of Lincoln County. In fact, over the years, Lincoln has had enough artists and galleries to qualify as a bona fide art colony. In the Most Dangerous Art in America series, I will share some of the impressive art at our historic sites, both familiar and unexpected. In 2017, it came to our attention that we had quite an impressive art collection, but the art was scattered amongst our many museums and some was safely tucked away in storage. To make these intriguing works more available to our visitors, we opened the Lincoln Gallery of Western Art on September 21, 2017 in the historic Luna Chavez House. It was an exciting night with our artists, staff, volunteers, and dignitaries from the New Mexico Department of Cultural Affairs all in attendance. For many years, the Luna Chavez House had been serving as the site's archive building, and so everyone was excited to have the historic building open to the public again after so many years. Once inside, our guests were thrilled to see original paintings, sketches, and sculptures, most of which had been inspired by the events and participants of the Lincoln County War. What would Billy think to know that the events of his short life had become such a part of the history of the West that they would actually inspire artists for generations? If you've visited us in Lincoln, it's possible that you've walked right past some original art in the Courthouse and Tunstall store and never even knew that it was there. You know, as the instructional coordinator at our historic sites, it is my job to share our history and to teach our visitors something that they didn't know before. But every once in a while, it is our visitors who have something to teach me. I became aware of one of these hidden treasures while talking to a man in the courthouse who was visiting from Canton, Ohio. He explained to me that his hometown was famous for being a major manufacturer of safes, but that the safes of today cannot hold a candle to the antique safes that were produced from the 1860s to 1890s. In those days, having a safe like this in your home or business was a status symbol. It was an irrefutable representation of your success, with some weighing up to 9,000 pounds. In addition to the advances in security, lock mechanisms, and precise metalwork, safe manufacturers also employed artists who decorated the safes with detailed, hand-painted lettering, scrollwork, and original landscapes, portraits, and still-life paintings. Most safe makers disappeared during the Depression, and many antique safes ended up deteriorating in the corner of an old home, business, or in a scrapyard. We're fortunate, however, to have several examples of antique safes right here at Lincoln Historic Site. For example, this safe from the days of the house is still located in the historic Lincoln County Courthouse in what was once the office of L.G. Murphy. Murphy's safe was a fireproof safe, marketed as the salamander safe because, according to myth, salamanders were thought to be impervious to fire. Also in the courthouse, it is impossible to miss the huge wall safe in the old county clerk's office, which was used not as much for money or bootleg liquor, as some have theorized, but to protect important files and documents during the early days of Lincoln County. What you may have missed because the safe door is propped open to allow a peek inside is the delicate artwork right here on the front of the heavy safe door. This safe features an original landscape painting as well as the precise artistry of detailed lettering and delicate scroll work. But wait, there's more. In the Tunstall store, just outside of Tunstall's living quarters, we have another safe from the Hall's Safe and Lock Company out of Cincinnati, Ohio. This safe features examples of a fruity still life as well as a very well-preserved floral arrangement. Restoration specialist Billy J. Espich says that the challenge of restoring the artwork on Hall's safes takes his breath away because they are the most ornate and detailed, making him suspect that there may have been some mind-altering chemicals involved in their creation. Like most antiques of this age, the artwork on our safes has been dimmed somewhat by time and grime, but we are fortunate that the art was never painted over, as happened with many antique safes from this time. Restoration specialists are able to restore the safes to their original glory, but the process is labor-intensive. Once restored, however, these hidden treasures can look as good as a fine automobile after a trip to the detailer. I hope that you enjoyed this episode from the most dangerous art in America, and we hope you will stay tuned for future episodes from It Happened Here, Living History, and our From the Vault series. And of course, more from the studio about the most dangerous art in America. See you then!